Hello everyone, boys and girls. I hope that everyone is doing alright. Today we are going to do a grammar lesson on Unit 15, and our title is going to be focused on have to. Today we are going to study about have to, how to use have to in English with the singular, with the plural, in the past, in the present, and also we are going to make it as a question. We need to know how to use have to in a question, how to use it in a negation, how to use it in a affirmation. You can find this lesson on the language book, page 130, and you can find the related exercises on your practice book, pages 123 and 124. Our objectives for today, when we are through with this lesson, we are going to be able to use have to in both singular and plural forms. We are also going to be able to use it in interrogative and in negative forms. In the second learning objective, whenever you see have to in a sentence, whenever you see a mistake in a sentence that is related to have to, you will be able to correct it easily. So I need everyone to focus with me. Guys, this link is for a video. It is beneficial. It explains have to with the plural and singular forms. That what you can find on page 130 in your language book. So if you take the link, if you play the video, you're gonna find the video anyway on your into the lesson folder on Google Classroom, a YouTube video. So you watch it first, and then you open up the screen recording and listen to my explanation. All right. So have to. Why do we use have to in English? As you can see here, it says that we use have to talk about strong obligation that comes from somewhere else. It means strong obligation. When you have an obligation to do, it means that you must do that thing, that you are forced to do it. There's no choice but to do it. For example, from your boss, your parents, a rule at school or work. So if your parents tell you to sleep now, you will have no choice to say no, I don't want to sleep now, because they force you to sleep now, so you have to sleep now. If it's a rule at school, you have to wear your uniform. We do not say wear your uniform if you would like to. No, we say you have to wear your uniform, because it's an obligation. There's no choice. So that's what we call obligation. Obligation, when you have no choice but to do the thing that you are forced to do. Examples in this: I have to be home by 10. My parents told me so. So does this guy who has to be home at 10, does this guy have any choice to be at home later than 10? Maybe 10:15 or 10:30? No. He has to be. When he said, I have to be home by 10, khalas, there's no choice. 10, 10. He's obligated to do it. He's forced to do it. And that's why we use have to express obligation. Okay, I have to get up early because I start work at 8. It is a rule. So this is a rule. He has to wake up early because his job starts at 8. Now, if he wakes up a little bit later, he will not be able to start his work at 8, and then he will lose money, or he will have a memo, or whatever happens. Okay, his boss will scold him. So guys, the thing here is that he is obligated to wake up early. He is forced to wake up early. That's why he said, I have to wake up early. Okay, because it's a rule. Last one, I should get up early. Now I stay in bed until lunchtime. Doesn't matter, because he said I should. He didn't say I have to. He said I should. صح? So he just thinks that he needs to get up early. Okay, now I stay in bed until lunchtime. No one will tell him, why didn't you wake up early? Because he has nothing to do. So it's not obligation. So when it's a rule, it's an obligation. That's why I use have to. So remember, guys, rule, obligation, have to. Something that's not your decision, have to. Something you must do, have to. Something you're forced to do, have to. Okay? Now, have to here has forms. The sentences of have to have forms. The first form is the affirmative sentence. Affirmative sentence is the normal sentence that shows necessity. That shows necessity, yani that shows an obligation, something you are forced to do. Something you're forced to do. Okay? First, you start your sentence with a subject, as you can see. Either you start it with one of those seven pronouns, as we say always, or you choose a noun. Okay, noun is a name of a thing, a person, or a place. Then after the subject, you add the modal which is have to or has to. Now, have to, focus in this, guys. Have to goes with the plural. Have to goes with the plural nouns and those four pronouns I, you, we, they. Has to is used with the singular nouns. With the singular nouns and those three pronouns he, she, and it. Okay, and then after have to and has to, I put the verb clean, get, pick up, have, eat, go, work. So I have to clean. As you can see, the examples here, I have to clean my room. So when you put the categories together or the columns together, you start I have to clean. And then you continue. What do you have to clean? My room, for example. You have to get, as it says here, a new book. So guys, subject, have to, verb. Subject, has to, verb, as it says in this sentence. He has to eat dinner now. We didn't say he have to, because have to, we said it comes with the plural. Has to is with the singular, right? Um, yeah, and this is the affirmative sentence. Now moving into the uh, don't have to. Don't have to. That's what we call a negative sentence. A negative sentence. Let's see. Don't have to means that there isn't any obligation at all. There's no need to do it. So when I tell you, you don't have to wear your uniform, do you wear it? You don't, because there's no need to it. I told you, you don't have to. And you are obligated not to do it. Again, you're obligated, and you are forced not to do it. When we said you have to, it means you're forced to do it. When I say don't have to, you're forced not to do it. Okay? Look at this. Don't have to is different from shouldn't or mustn't. Examples. I say, I don't have to get up early at weekend. It means that I can stay in bed as long as I want. Okay? Um, that's what I want to focus on from this page. So let's see. Now, don't have to is the same. The form is the same. But the thing here that we differentiate between the singular and the plural by using don't or doesn't. But on both we use have to, because after the verb to do's, do, doesn't, did. After verb to do, doesn't, did, we always use a verb base, any verb without any addition. Okay, and the root verb or the original verb here is have to. So guys, we say I don't have to, you don't have to, we don't have to, and they don't have to. Those four pronouns and plural nouns, we use don't have to with them. But if it's a singular noun, or he, she, and it, we use doesn't have to. So we say he doesn't have to work. I don't have to work. We, that's plural, more than one, don't have to work. طب she is singular. So we say doesn't have to work. Okay? If I say my dad, how many dads? One dad. So it's a singular. I use doesn't have to work. Okay, guys? And that's all about the negative form. Now, interrogative form, when I say interrogative form, it means questions. When you interrogate someone, it means that you are questioning him. You are asking him questions. Okay? So when I say interrogative form, guys, it means questions. How do I make questions using have to? The really simple and easy and nice thing in this form that there is no singular or plural. I always use have to. But the singular and plural here, we differentiate between them using do or does. Here in the question, it's like a yes no question, hababi. As we always explained, we said when I form a yes no question in English, I swap between the subject and the helping verb. I start with the helping verb and then I do the subject. I use the subject. As in here, instead of saying I don't have to or she don't have to, I take the do or the does. She doesn't, I'm sorry. I take the do or the does and I start my sentence with them by saying do I have to, or does he have to? And same thing applies. If the subject singular or he, she, it, I use does. If it's plural, I, we, you, they, we use do. Okay, guys? Um, have to is always there, and then you continue with the verb, and that's your sentence with the complement. You continue it as in the first example. Do I have to clean my room? You're asking, do I have to clean my room? You're asking your mom, and your mom says, yes, you do, or no, you don't. That's how she answers you, either yes or no. When she says yes, she uses do. When she uses no, she uses don't if she is talking to you. But if she's talking about her, does she have to go to work now? The answer is going to be yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. Whatever you use in the question, you use in the answer. Remember this sentence. Whatever you use in the question, in a yes no question, you use in the answer. Okay, so if I used do, I use do. If I use does, I use does. Also, it depends on the pronoun or the plural or singular noun that you're using. Okay, let's have some exercises here. Let's read a little bit. It says, read the advertisement, then choose the correct words below. The advertisement is about a secretary. Okay, help wanted, secretary, no experience necessary, must type 50 words per minute, work Monday to Friday, weekends off, answer phones, use computer, file reports. Guys, this is an advertisement from an office. They need a secretary, okay? And those are the features that they need in the secretary, okay? They want the secretary to be good at typing, to type 50 words per minute on the keyboard, to work from Monday to Friday. They will have their weekends off, to answer the phones. They want the secretary to answer the phones. They want the secretary to use the computer, and they want the secretary to file reports also. And they are not asking for any experience, so the experience is not necessary. Okay, that's what we are going to build our answers on. Let's see number one. It says the secretary blank know how to type. Look at the features there. It says no experience necessary, must type 50 words per minute. When you type 50 words per minute, it means that you are typing nearly one word every second. Does that mean that you're good at typing or not? Yes, it means that you are good at typing. So is it necessary for the secretary to be good at typing? Yes, it's necessary. So what do we use? Have to, has to, don't have to, doesn't have to. Guys, look at in the beginning. You gotta look at the subject. The subject is secretary. Is it plural or singular? One secretary or more? It's one secretary. Okay, so it's singular. That's why I am going to use has to or doesn't have to. And then we say, is it necessary for her to be or for him to be good at typing? Yes, it's a necessity. So, guys, we use has to. Okay? That's how I use it. Number two, a secretary, plural or singular? Again, it's singular. Before I continue the sentence, it's singular. Then what are the options that I'm leaving out? I'm leaving out don't and I'm leaving out have to because they are used with plural. And the one I have here is singular, one secretary. So my answer must be has to or doesn't have to. If it's a necessity, then it's has to. If it's not a necessity, I use doesn't have to. Let's see. A secretary, a blank, be a woman. To continue the sentence, because it's not mentioned there if it should be a woman or a man. But if you continue the sentence, you will see the secretary can be a man. So must it be a woman? No. So what do we use here? It's not a necessity. So what do we use? Doesn't have to. Okay. Number 3. We have 2 blanks. Blank, the secretary. Blank, work Saturdays. And question mark. It's interrogative form. What do we start our interrogative form with? We start it with do or does. Let's look at it. The secretary. The secretary is a singular. A singular uses does. So it should be does plus have to or does plus has to. But let's continue, guys. Does the secretary, and we always said, always in interrogative forms, we use have to. We never use has to. Okay, because after the do, does, and did, we always use have to. We never use has to. Okay, so the answer is, does the secretary have to work Saturdays? Number 4, no. This is the answer for the question. No, he or she. When we said he or she, it's a singular, not plural. So we use doesn't or has to. When we said no, it means it's not a necessity. So I'm going to use a negative form. No, he or she what doesn't have to go to work on Saturdays. And this is kind of our rule, guys. I need you to look at this page. I'm going to sum up or conclude our lesson, guys, by revising the rule together. As we said in the beginning, guys, we said the use of it is to express obligation, something you are forced to do or something you're forced not to do. The form of it, the affirmative, we said we start with a subject, a noun or a pronoun, plus have to, has to, had to, will have to, plus verb base. Will have to is for the future. Had to is for the past. Has to and have to for the present, but it's plural and singular. It depends. So when I say students had to work hard to pass the test, had to here it's in the past. So I'm talking about something in the past. Students had to work hard to pass the test. If it's a negative form, we said negative form, it's not a necessity. We said affirmative is a necessity to do, forced to do. Negative, it's not a necessity. It's you are forced that you're forced not to do it. I'm sorry. So you started with a subject as usual, but I add not. So don't, doesn't, didn't, won't, Lee will not, plus have to. Always have to, as you can see it. Plus verb base. Verb base, guys, I mean it's a verb without any addition, as you can see here. Work, run. I didn't say worked, ed. No, you cannot say that. Work, okay? So she doesn't have to run in order to win. And the last one is a yes no question. That is the interrogative form. I start with does, do, did, or will, plus subject, plus have to, plus verb base. Does and do is for the singular and plural present. Did is for the past when you talk about a past action. Will is for future when you talk about a future action. Plus the subject, as in here. Did she have to think carefully? I'm talking about the past. Did she have to think carefully? The answer is going to be what we use in the question, we use in the answer. Yes, she did. As you can hear, I used the first 2 words only. Yes, she did, or no, she didn't. And that is the rule, guys. As you can see in the page here, I need you to read the passage yourselves. Please look at those exercises. Try to do them on your notebook, guys. They are really easy to be done. They are really easy to be done. And here are some clarifying examples of how to do the exercises. If you have any question, feel free to ask me on Google Classroom or in Zoom meetings. Please continue on your language books, guys. This was my lesson for today. Please do not forget to do the grammar exercises on pages 115, 116 on your practice books. And if there is going to be a quiz on Google Classroom, if you find a Google quiz on Google Classroom, please don't forget to do it. That's for better understanding. Thank you so much. Always remember, stay safe, stay home, and thank you for joining me for today.